fans, welcome to another edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast, brought to you by SinCal Studios.
SinCal.
Where we break down all the fights that are previously happened, so we'll be reviewing fights, breaking them down for the upcoming, talk about everything in the world of mixed martial arts, catch you up on all the rumors, all the news, all the current barroom discussions.
Facts. We're trying to get you facts.
Sometimes a lot of facts. Sometimes a lot of opinions.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of opinion, but we'll tell you when it is our opinion.
Very true. Very true. Anyway, try to keep you informed and on everything that's happening in mixed martial arts. And you ready to jump in today?
Yeah, as ready as I can be. I mean,
there's a lot going on. I mean, not a lot going on, but there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and then some of the stuff is just like a boomerang. It just keeps coming back.
Keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Keeps coming back.
This one's just getting, I don't know which
This
first.
one's getting weird, man.
This one's getting weird and worse.
Weird and worse. Again, we are talking about World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation.
And not in a good way.
And again, not in a good way.
Nothing positive has happened since we last spoke to you about the unpositive things
that have happened. So last week, I don't know if we talked about it. I think we did, where Mr. Thomas Stankiewicz was being held in court for mortgage fraud in the state of Illinois. Okay? So this is not necessarily World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation having to do with their unpaid bills, but this has to do with the CEO, the owner of that, is currently now set to serve 34 months in prison and owes $2.4 million on a separate case for mortgage fraud.
Right. So, and just kind of like point something out major. If this is already happening, it's been going on for over a year.
3 years is what they're saying.
3 years this has been going on. So he's been in the hole $2.4 million worth.
Said it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, well, the Shaggy defense.
Yeah, it's the Shaggy defense. So anyway, the state of Wyoming, where the event took place, at the time that the World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation had started, they only had to have a $10,000 bond.
Who does that cover?
Other states, they have larger bonds. The bond is supposed to cover the fighters and people who work the event.
Yeah, but I mean, something like this, I'm guessing you would at least need $250,000.
There are other ones in LA. I think it's 1.5 million or 1.2 to cover.
Yeah, I mean,
because you have to have to throw an event.
Well, because I own a swimming pool, I have to have $1 million umbrella on my homeowner's insurance.
There it is. So, but in the state of Wyoming, when they first set up
$10,000,
they're fighting their athletic commission and with bonds for fights like that, it's only $10,000.
It wouldn't even cover a mobile home.
So it's so this is definitely not ideal for any of those fighters that were on the World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation 1 card, because a lot of them still have not got paid.
Right.
And Boss Rutan, again, I hate to bring it up because he's somebody that I respect and somebody that I look up to. And somebody that I enjoy watching as a fighter and as a fan. He has not made any statements. About a couple weeks ago, he just kept saying, "It's don't worry, it's all going to be figured out. It's all going to be figured out." He still has not responded. I personally hit him up on Twitter and said, "Well, what now? Now that we have all this evidence out here in front of you, that your CEO is now going to jail."
Right.
What's going to happen? No response as of yet.
Well, there's
a lot of the fighters. Phil Baroni was tweeting at me like he just wants to get paid. He's unhappy that he basically got a concussion and didn't even get to pay for his medical expenses. So
I'm guessing none of these guys carried in their own sponsors going into this.
It's a big deal. It's some crazy stuff. That's
just imagine like we reported. You got a hotel waiting on $70,000.
Yeah.
So.
It's, and again, Eric Cowell over there at My MMA News has been digging into the story for even months before the event happened, and he's been digging into the story. Walt's been going on. I've been helping him try to find and track down leads as much as I can. Mike Russell,
I'm going to tell you right now, when our news hound dog says somebody else has been digging, two people have definitely been digging.
We've been digging. I know Mike Russell's picked up part of it. I saw Mental Easy finally picked up on it. Now it seems like bigger MMA media junkets out there are starting to pick up on the story. It should have been happening a long time ago. I feel for all those fighters who have not gotten paid. I would say reach out to the bondsman or reach out to the state of Wyoming to see if you can get first on for the bond, because otherwise I don't think you're getting paid ever.
Right.
And for all of you that were supporting this organization from the beginning, defending, even though news after news after news was coming out that stuff were going down.
Wait a minute. All right, go ahead.
I'm saying Where's your statement? Like,
right.
What do you feel now? Are you still going to defend him? Like, I mean, it's just, come on, man.
Well, because
and to put down other organizations that were trying to get news out there and say, oh, you guys are fake news, you're bullshit.
Right.
Hey, everybody's got a story, man. If they got somebody coming forward, there's obviously some facts there.
Right. And again, I mean, it's going to be the same way that this guy conned so many people. Yep. I mean, because he conned some good, he got some good ones. I mean,
he conned, if
he
it comes out, he conned Boss Rutten.
But he preyed on the same thing that everybody else is kind of using. Is like, all of us love this sport and we want something to happen. We want other avenues.
Want it to be good.
Right. Yeah. You do. So, I mean,
I saw a bunch of people.
You want to believe
Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation. The event was great. Can't wait for the second one.
You want to believe and you want to and you want to help push something on like that. Even if you're Dodge and it's the PFL, you want to get behind it. You want to get, but at some point when it goes bad, you have to be the same people that start telling people what's really going on,
happening,
or what you found out.
Yeah.
Don't just stop and go, well, I don't want to say nothing bad about it. No, keep reporting. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to report.
Good reporters out there. I mean, they keep saying journalism is dead. I don't think so. I just think more and more people focus too much on social media and what they want to believe instead of actually good journalism.
Yeah, like us. We just went from being nosy to now we're like news people. But still,
I don't know if I go that far.
We're just, we're still not a credible source.
Still not credible.
But I mean, we're just, as we get into stories today, you're just going to see that we sit, we talk about it, and we're digging. We're trying to find out what's going on.
Find out what's really happening.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, speaking of PFL, by the way, PFL CEO Carlos Silva has decided to step down from being the head of PFL because he is now joining the World Tennis? Yeah, right? World Tennis. Team Tennis. World Team Tennis.
What titty?
World Team Tennis.
Okay.
And he would like to say, most people don't know this, but it's kind of an important thing to him. He played professionally after college at Boston College. So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with PFL. Are they going to have a season 2? Will I win my bet with Dennis?
No.
We don't know.
Why would it go? Just because they change people?
This is the reason I'm saying that we don't know. Because this guy is the guy that was convincing all those investors, including you, Kevin Hart, to get into PFL and be like, hey, you guys, MMA is a big thing. I'm going to stick around. I'm going to make this thing a thing. Like, don't worry, I got a bunch of experience. PFL is going to be the next MMA thing. It's going to be bigger than the UFC. We got seasons. It's going to be totally different.
No.
By the way, I'm leaving.
Yeah. But still, I think like the people like
how does that, if you're an investor and you see the guy that got you in bouncing, how does that make you feel?
Like, okay, let me get into my explanation.
All right.
So, like the names that you've named, right? Uh-huh. Okay, so how many dollars do you think they throw at pilots and movies a year?
We talked about this before, yeah.
So, I mean, for them, and especially when they've got buddies who are in MR2 or MEIR.
Right.
Who owns the UFC now? What is it?
EIM or
EIO, bingo, what's the fucking name? But either way, those are celebrities, right?
Endeavor, I think is what it is.
Right. So those are celebrities that threw money at the UFC. So these are celebrities who didn't get on the UFC bus,
right? But
they're here and the MMA's good. I don't think the tennis guy sold it to them. I think it was their other entertainer buddies who got into the UFC.
Who got sold by the tennis guy?
He's like, what do you mean, Kevin? You guys didn't get on the UFC bus? He's like, nah, man, oh, you could get on the Bellator thing.
No, it's gone.
Or you can get on the PFL thing. Yeah. So.
I mean, it seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you the question. If tennis guy here, Mr. Carlos Silva, came to you and said, I want you to invest in MMA, dude, it's going to be great. All this other, and then you see him leaving.
Right.
How do you feel?
Like a guy who bought a house just before the bust. You know what I mean? Like my neighbor who owes $500,000 on the $180,000 house I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would feel.
Damn it,
man.
So I mean, good luck to Carlos Silva. I hope World Team Tennis is a big thing for you. I just do worry about the state of PFL.
I'm going to tell you right now, PFL's good. PFL is good.
Where's your PFL hat?
Yeah.
Where's your PFL hat?
I don't wear a PFL hat.
Why
I
not?
wear SD gear.
Support them.
And sometimes my MMA news gear.
Moving on from there, One Championship has announced their lightweight World Grand Prix. Pretty cool. In the first round, which is starting today at this event here, this is a Heroes Ascent. You're going to get to see Honorio Banario go up against Lowen Taineres. The winner of that will face Eddie Alvarez and Timothy Nastakun. So, again, you have bracket on that side. You also got Amir Khan, Ariel Sexton, Ev Ting, and Sahig Arilasalaneviv.
Yep.
Yeah, all going down in one. Again, one throwing together a Grand Prix. The winner will be crowned the Grand Prix champion, and I believe have a title shot and or be the champion. I got to double check on that. But yeah, pretty cool that they're throwing their hat into the Grand Prix style.
And it's getting
bigger and bigger.
Growing other promotions.
And bigger. I believe they're going to announce another tournament soon in which Demetrius Johnson will be taking part of. Again, here you can see the bracket. I should have put that up a couple seconds ago. But I had the other one. Moving on from there. Yoel Romero taking some time out of his injury to be on a reality TV show called Exelton Estados Unidos.
Yeah.
Which is on Monday on Telemundo.
I thought, what's that translate to? Buff dudes on TV?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like athletes, something like that.
Oh, like
athletes.
our Titans? Kind of like our Titans?
Yeah. So we have he's on Team Famoso, Team Famous. Now, George Masvidal was on last season. So this is like a reality TV show. It's like Survivor and Titan Games, kind of. And they basically have to go through obstacles. And do physical feats.
That's Survivor.
Yeah, he kind of went through an obstacle course in the clip that's on there. Also, they have to do some like mind games and this kind of thing. Anyway, so Yoel Romero on there as a competitor. You can watch him live on.
Good luck
Telemundo
with the latter
Mondays.
part of the competition.
So yeah, they take famous and athletes and things like that of Latin America and put them up against regular people, and they have teams. Yeah, check it out.
Pros versus Joes.
Kind of. Telemundo. Check it out. This will be the second season, by the way. Telemundo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
sounds like it's doing well, like the PFL.
Well, they got 2 seasons. PFL, we don't know yet. Moving on. Gabi Garcia got married.
I'm out of left field to me.
Out of left field.
I didn't know she had a bow this whole time.
Yeah, some CrossFit dude, man. CrossFit dude. That's all. That's pretty much all I got. Her Instagram's private, and she won't add me.
You have to do CrossFit. How do you keep up with that? 4 plays like what, an hour and a half?
Bruno Balmida is her husband.
Good for you, Bruno. You know what is awesome?
A CrossFit dude.
But it's what is really awesome is that all the shit talking that goes on the internet about her, you've never seen him come out and like throw a fit or.
No, man. But he still backs his woman.
Yeah.
Married her.
Right. No, but I mean, you've never heard Bruno so-and-so tells everybody, shut up!
Although this picture shows a great angle, there was another one. He is definitely shorter than her.
Well, everybody's shorter than Gabi Garcia.
Happy for Gabi Garcia.
That's a big girl. I'm happy for both of them.
Happy for Gabi Garcia.
There's somebody out there for everybody.
Moving on from there, Nevada State Athletic Commission has released their agenda for January 29th. On that agenda, we have multiple things happening. The John Jones pre-case from 232, prior 232, when they weren't going to allow him to fight in Nevada, why they moved it to California. They're going to be looking at those test results. I'm sure they're going to have something else to talk about, which we'll get to in a little bit. Also, though, on that, we have the Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov situation and spectacle, as they call it, from UFC 229. Both of these are going to be figuring out what's going to happen.
And it can't get continued anymore, right?
No, this will be it. This
has to be
the John Jones thing. They're not looking to punish him. They're just looking to see
explanations
and kind of what's going on, and be able and possibly allow him to get his fight license for when he fights Anthony Smith, because they're trying to make that in Vegas in March. So they have to approve him. We'll see if that happens now after, again, we get to a little bit of news here a little bit later. However, again, Nurmagomedov and McGregor and the whole camp and gang and everybody that's included in that, they will have their either a fine, suspension, or both on the 29th. So obviously next week we'll be able to tell you everything that happened.
So based on
that, we went back and we looked at like the Nashville brawl.
Right.
That was when after Jake Shields beat Dan Henderson, Mayhem jumped in the cage, started kind of provoking everything, erupted into a big brawl. Gilbert Melendez, the Diaz brothers, I mean everybody, Cesar Gracie, even Dan Harrison's guys tried to get in there and separate things out. That thing happened, and most people were given like a 3-month suspension.
Okay.
And fined anywhere between $500 to $7,500. $5,000 to $7,500.
Right.
So that's precedent. Now that was in 2010. I don't know if it's going to go up. I don't know if it's a part of their purse. I don't know if it's just a flat fine. I don't know if it's
But we do have a solid precedent to go off of, because I do not believe that the brawl that just happened is anywhere near what happened in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So I mean, they allowed these guys to fight, but again, there's going to be some suspension. There's going to be a fine. I think across the board for everybody?
Is any of this going to have to do with the guys, the corner guys? I mean, what can the commission do to those guys? Because they're saying their group, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, so this is what I'm saying. Anybody that's a licensed fighter can get suspended and fined.
Okay.
Anybody outside of that, I don't know if there's much they can do. Like if you're just a cornerman,
well, they can just probably refuse them access to the ring for.
It's possible, yeah, for another fight or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they could do something along those lines. But yeah, that's where we're at. So we'll find out again.
Because we have a lot of non-fighters involved.
We do have a lot of non-fighters
in that ruckus.
Speaking of non-fighters, we got Derek Carr, quarterback for the current Oakland Raiders. Not very happy with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman. Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman went on their show, First Take, and talked about that John Gruden, head coach of the Raiders, is ready to move on from Carr and look at drafting somebody else. And they questioned his character and said that he didn't seem to want it this season. Obviously they went 4-2.
Hey, he's not saying what a lot of fans aren't saying.
They went 4-2 this season.
Derek.
So Carr didn't like this and didn't like what they were saying, and so he went on Twitter and asked at Dana White at UFC, hey, how do I challenge a couple of these clowns to a TV fight? I think we should start a business. Pro athletes can challenge some of these people to an octagon fight until they give us an answer. You don't know me, stop lying. What's crazy about this, VADA, the online betting organization, put up odds if he were to fight Stephen A. Smith in a celebrity boxing match. Stephen A. Smith is the favorite.
What?
At -130, Derek Carr's only 110. Stephen A. Smith is 52 years old.
You know how many people want to see, after this weekend, want to see Stephen Smith get punched in the face?
Yeah, we'll get to that too when we talk about his job that he did at UFC on ESPN.
For the first time covering a sport you know nothing about, I don't know.
I would like to see if Kellerman. I'd like to see the odds against Kellerman. They're a little closer in age. Kellerman's 45. Derek Carr's still only 27.
And at peak conditioned
athlete. Stephen A. Smith went on Twitter and goes, "Here's the question: why is he talking about me in the octagon instead of a UFC fighter? What do I have to do with this sorry ass season that the Raiders had? All I did was observe." But we could take this on First Take if you want to come on our show. Yeah, of course you're trying to get ratings for your show. I think the fight is a better idea.
So what he should do is go take his beef to Skip Bayless then. even though we don't like him either.
He recently put up on Instagram that it's over and done with. He's getting back to working out, that he doesn't care anymore. He said his thing. He's done. This is Derek Carr.
Oh, okay.
So they're apparently going to move on from there. Obviously, the biggest news to come out is we have a couple more failed tests or possible failed tests. The first one is with Walt Harris, who fought in UFC 232. This was in California. This was a little strange here. California State Athletic Commission said that Walt Harris's test came back positive for LGD 4033, a muscle wasting medication, it's basically like Ostarine. It's an androgen receptor. Now, the California State Athletic Commission has their own testing outside of USADA. USADA's tests came back negative, but one of the tests that the California State Athletic Commission came back was positive. They're getting ready to do his B sample. It has not gone through yet, but he is being possibly suspended. For the current moment, they are temporarily suspending his license in California to fight. This is Walt Harris, who fought at UFC 232.
And then if that goes down, then his fight would be turned to what?
They possibly could turn it into a no contest. They have in the past. This is something that it has happened before if their B test comes back positive. However, I don't know where they're going to sit with USADA saying his test is clean. Our test is saying that it's positive. If their B sample comes back as positive, but USADA's tests come back negative again, that seems to put a lot of things up in the air that we've been talking about now for the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Like USADA stopped testing for Turnbull.
Yeah. Or something, or Ostarine or whatever. However, we do have another case, and that would be Mr. John Jones. Mr. John Jones, once again, has 33 picograms of his, what was it? I'm trying to remember all the things. So the M3 metabolite of oral Turnbull in his system.
So the week prior, his low was 18.
He's 18. Then USADA came out and said his tests are clean.
Right.
We tested him clean.
Right.
California State Athletic Commission, to allow him to fight in California, said we wanted him to go to volunteer anti-doping agency.
So this is still this test is the week
VADA.
before.
This is VADA. No, this is night of.
Oh, is it?
This is night of.
I thought the VADA test.
This is January 28th, day before.
Yeah. Okay.
It was 29th was the
right.
fight.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're saying this is the 28th. He tested. He had 33 picograms in his system.
up from 18, but down from 60.
But down from 60.
Which was up from 22.
Yes.
But was down from 0
at one point. And that the California State Athletic Commission is saying, once again, science-wise, this makes sense. There's no short or medium-term metabolites. This is exactly what we've said before. We're standing by our original statement. Nothing's changed. We've already punished him for the M3 metabolite. There's no grounds to charge somebody twice for the same violation. Double jeopardy clause. He cannot get in trouble for more picograms because of this pulsing effect that we seem to think is happening.
Which will allow him to continue to low-level use
something.
No, just Turnaball.
Oral Turnaball.
Which you've already said, as long as you use it right now and on the spot, this low amount of level can be
pulsing.
Yeah.
In his system for the rest of his life.
Right.
So John Jones.
So now he's a card carrier.
Picograms. We'll make sure every test we get results from, we'll make sure you can see it out in pill form.
So every test for the next 7 years,
or for life,
could
have picograms. Now,
and he's going to be the only one.
If they ever find an M1, an M2, or any other metabolites, he's immediately in trouble. If they ever raise above a picogram level, they're saying that he could be in trouble. If they ever find anything else in his system besides Oraturnable, he will be in trouble. However, under the California State Athletic Commission and apparently USADA and the science that they feel that is backing that, John Jones will always have pulsing picograms of oral Turnaball in his system from an unknown source.
Someone said that maybe he's like an alcoholic. Alcoholics, after a while, they actually start to secrete alcohol. Maybe he just makes... Maybe he
makes oral Turnaball.
We should start milking him for Turnaball.
So again, it became big news. A couple people said, "Why is this relevant?" Why it's relevant is because they had already said he was clean, and he had 0, and now all of a sudden he has 33 again.
Right.
Because it's another test. Yes, leading up to the fight, he had some, he had none. Now we have some again.
Yeah, but then again, so they're saying he didn't work hard enough in the fight to get a post, right?
Yeah, at the very end, he got 0.
So you guys told me it's based on a hard workout. We'll make this come out. And if you don't think it was a hard fight,
yeah, I don't know, man. It's
so he didn't train that week. He didn't do anything hard that week to make it come out.
Scott Coker of Bellator recently put out a statement saying that he is disappointed with the California State Athletic Commission and allowing this to happen. That any athlete with anything in their system should be fined, should be suspended, should not be allowed to fight.
But like on
a lot of people kind of called out Scott on that, saying, "Look, you fight in Texas where they have no testing, or you fight in other states that have no testing." Or,
right, on the Scott Coker, are you tried to put together a 0-12 fighter against a 3-0 disappointed, or are you trying to put on fights in Texas? I mean, what level of Scott Coker disappointed are you?
I mean,
let us know.
It's pretty crazy. Again, I guess
when people make statements, they need to be like, what has happened this year? Let me what's happened this year, let's like Dana. Anytime Dana says something, he just needs
By the way, Dana White said if John Jones tested positive, he would kill himself. But because John Jones didn't test positive, according to that California State Athletic Commission, it's just picograms of pulsing. It's not a positive test. Dana White will not be killing himself. Yeah, so there's that.
Nor do we condone that.
No, absolutely not.
We would talk him off the ledge.
Try to, yeah.
Come down from that ledge, my friend.
Moving on from there, UFC on ESPN Plus 1 happened this past weekend. As a business owner where I have TVs in my restaurant, I had multiple people coming in. Hey, man, you going to be showing that fight? It's free on ESPN. No, the fuck it's not, because ESPN Plus is not offered to restaurants.
There was four free fights on ESPN.
And we watched them. And then we went back to basketball. So ESPN Plus does not, at least to my knowledge, does not yet have a model for businesses. Before, if we were a business and we wanted to buy the cable packages that include the UFC, we could, obviously, because we can have cable packages. And if we wanted to buy pay-per-views, we had to pay a public viewing license.
Right.
Public viewing license meant that we had to pay per capacity, not per TV. If it was $50 a TV, I'd have it on every TV and sell the shit out of my restaurant. However, it's not. It's by capacity, and I'm not going to pay $1,800
for every butt.
For every butt
that's not
half
in there.
Of my restaurant that can watch it. The other half is fucked.
Right.
And they're not going to be happy trying to get food, and they can't watch the fight. So they do not have this yet for restaurants or for bars, at least to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, please somebody send me a link. I would like to find out.
If you know how to hook it up through a business, or if you're somebody from ESPN trying to hook up businesses,
let me know. This guy, I want to know how to do this. Otherwise,
holla at your boy.
We just got the regular 4 fights on regular ESPN. And then we had a lot of people that were asking, what do you mean it's a subscription service? I don't understand what subscription service means. What? You pay $9.99 on top of your already current cable bill.
See, that right there shows me that these record number thing is kind of skewed.
It's still kind of skewed?
If a lot of people didn't realize that you had to watch it through a subscription.
Yep.
Yeah.
They will say, though, it beat everything in that time slot. Except for the NBA on ABC from 8:13 to 10 o'clock, in which was on there. It
beat everything that was on a paid programming subscription.
No, everything except for NBA.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat out all the other channels people were watching on ESPN.
Oh, okay.
All-time record for prelims, which on regular TV over Spike and over on Fox Sports 1, which is great. That's good numbers.
Right.
ESPN Plus said they got 568,000 new subscribers to ESPN Plus.
Right.
However, they
how many cancellations 24 hours after?
Yeah, that's what I want to know, because a lot of people are giving away free 7 days worth of material you signed up. So yeah, you're going to get a bunch of subscriptions.
Yeah.
I want to know the retention. Let me know the retention. How many people are going to be paying next fight?
Right.
Because 7 days later, it could make a very, very big difference.
And I want to know the ratio to people who buy the ESPN Plus to the ratio who cancel Fight Pass.
Yeah, I think that's a good number to be looking out there for sure. Because I had talked to
because that's where I'm at.
Who were like,
I'm flipping a coin.
Yeah, what do I want to watch? Am I going to pay for Fight Pass, or am I paying for ESPN Plus? I already pay for cable. I already paid for this. I already paid for that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But anyway, let's go over the card here. Chance Rencontre defeats Kyle Stewart. Geoff Neal defeats Belal Muhammad. Dennis Bermudez defeats T. Edwards. Dennis Bermudez also retires, put his gloves down in the octagon, and said it was a tough pill to swallow hanging up the gloves. The journey was indefinitely one to remember. I have gotten to travel the world, meet so many amazing souls. Fighting has taught me a lot about myself, and I look forward to helping others apply them in their lives. At the end of the day, I did not obtain my goal in becoming a world champion. However, I have no regrets. Tried my hardest. Yada, yada, yada.
He stayed in there, though.
You can go over to the Instagram.
He stayed in there. He stayed a name for a long time.
Yeah, go over to Instagram. You can check it out and read his full statement. But good for Dennis Bermudez. He had a great career.
Yeah, and leaving while he can still talk. That's
definitely a good thing.
That's the big thing. Walk and talk and be able to
he does go out with 17-9 record. So a nice positive record there.
Yeah.
And then moving up the card, we had Corey Sandhagen going up against Mario Batista with the win. Alonzo Manifield over Vinicius Moreira. Jojo Calderwood gets the win over Ariane Lipsky. Donald Cerrone humbling Alexander Hernandez.
I think these 4 fights for free on ESPN were probably the best you could have put forward on to go into a new channel for free.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Donald Cerrone's fight.
Donald Cerrone's fight was great. And again, I 100% believe he humbled Alexander Hernandez,
who
was talking
don't piss off. Don't piss him off.
And he forgot. And Donald Cerrone just kept coming forward. He was accurate with his strikes, very accurate strikes, bloodied Alex Hernandez's face early in the first round and just continued. Finished it with a head kick and punches, won in round 2.
Punches by the bunches.
And then we had this interesting exchange that's being talked about right now. And that is that Donald Cerrone immediately got on the mic and said, "This old man still got it. I want a top 5. I'll even want Conor McGregor if he'll agree to do it. Cowboy is back. I'm on a roll. Here I come." Conor immediately tweets, "For a fight like that, Donald, I'll fight you. Congratulations." It's very, very interesting. And then Donald Cerrone comes out and says, "Don't worry, Notorious, I'll drink proper whiskey at the press conference with you. Hell, I'll even bring the Budweiser," in which Budweiser immediately responded, "We got your buds covered."
Yeah, in foam. so Conor don't throw them.
Anyway, Conor McGregor said, "Sounds like a party." So this is a fight that both guys have verbally agreed to. Fans seem to be pretty happy about this fight.
Yep.
I'm okay with this fight. I don't think Conor should be jumping in at number 1 contender shot anytime soon. So I think a Donald Cerrone fight would be great. A, for numbers. B, for the fans. and see where both of them gauge. This is a fight that's been talked about for a long time. Press conferences go and.
This is something that Donald Cerrone has wanted for a while. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is, again, press conferences. Press conferences ago where Conor McGregor was talking shit to everybody in the division.
Right.
He even called out Cowboy, who was a division ahead of him. And, he's never one to turn down a fight. So
no.
I think this is a great fight.
He wanted to talk to him, remember? And that's when we found out that they locked Conor away in the back.
Yeah, they wouldn't let anybody talk to him.
Right.
Yeah. So this would be a great fight. How do you see this fight going down if and when it happens?
I hope it's a slugfest.
Yeah.
And I think almost like the Nate Diaz, I think Cerrone can take a lot more beating than Conor can.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that too. I think a lot of people sleep on Donald Cerrone's ground game. He lulls these guys into slugfests, and he has accurate kickboxing. He's known for his kickboxing.
I don't see him submitting him though. I see him.
I think he could.
But I see him getting him to the ground and beating the shit out of him, kind of letting him get away for a little bit.
I think he would submit him. I think it'd be very much like Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 1.
Yeah.
He would stand on the feet with him a bunch of times. Conor McGregor he has accurate shots and he'd be tagging him for sure. But I think the minute he lulls him into the striking battle, he takes it down and he submits him. We already know that Conor McGregor, his ground game is something that needs to be worked on.
Right.
He has tapped out twice.
But I will say that Cerrone is going to be susceptible to Conor's leg kicks.
I would agree with that as well.
Especially if he gets him with that spinning back kick somehow.
Does it go Conor or Cowboy's way? That's the one that seems to be.
It depends. There's 4 styles of fights that can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll agree with
they
that
could stand and brawl. It could be a wrestle match.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's 4 ways that this could go down.
I'm excited to see it either way.
And it would be unless it's a main card, it would only be a 3-rounder, right?
Yeah. So I think this will either
that would be me. If I'm Donald Cerrone, I'm like, 5. I want this to be a main card. I want it to be a 5-round.
Yeah, I think this is an ESPN Plus card or an ESPN card main rounder. Otherwise, on a regular pay-per-view, it's going to be a co-main. Just throwing that out there at the beginning. Glover Teixeira defeated Carl Robinson, submission arm triangle choke at round 1. Paige Van Zant gets the win over Rachel Ostrovich with an arm bar in round 2.
Did she break it?
I don't know.
They said there was some poppage.
It's
poppage and lockage.
Pop and lockages were happening. Joseph Benavidez defeats Dustin Ortiz. Gregor Gillespie defeats Yancy Medeiros.
What's Dustin do now? It's not getting good for Dustin.
No, it's not. I mean, what is he for his last few? Let's take a moment here to bring up that record. Take a quick look. I mean, he's all right. He's got some performance. I mean, he lost to Benavidez, but he has 3 wins prior. Lost to Moreno, has a win. Lost to 2 in a row there. This is the second time he's lost to Benavidez, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think he'll hang in there.
Okay.
I think he's a guy that's in the division for a reason, and they definitely are trying to keep that flyweight division. Some guys are, so hopefully we'll see what happens to him. Again, Gregor Gillespie over Yancy Medeiros. Poor Gregor Gillespie also got all his shit stolen, man.
Yeah, I know.
From the arena.
And
his
what he
gym
say?
Bag full of stuff.
He was like, really, all I want back is my driver's license? Because I don't want to have to go to the DMV.
Yeah, and my mouth guard, so I have to do it again.
That's right.
But that sucks, man. That sucks. Alan Crowder over Greg Hardy due to an illegal knee. Greg Hardy... I don't know what to say about this, man. Greg Hardy, First, let's talk about the knee. Okay, so first of all, do you think it was intentional?
He even admitted later is intent. He just didn't understand the rule.
Right. Kind of. Yeah. So Greg Hardy was in a 3-point stance. Actually, he had one knee on the ground.
How would you say it was unintentional? He thought a fly was on his knee. He was trying to kill it.
He had one knee down.
Right.
And Greg Hardy got up, waited, took a breath, threw the knee at his head. He says, I was trying to time it. I just watched Cowboy catch a guy with some perfect timing, and I was thinking timing in a beautiful shot. Like every fight I've been in before this, there's that moment. I locked in on it. I went for it, and man, it was not intentional. However, he also turns around.
Whoa. So let's just dissect what he just said.
Uh-huh.
I waited for a moment.
Right.
But it was not intentional.
Right.
No, he wasn't intentionally breaking the rule. The knee was intentional.
The knee was intentional.
He said he even waited for strategic time to throw it.
For sure.
Right.
Someone says...
It was intentional.
It definitely was intentional. You waited, you thought about it, you chose to commit the illegal strike.
Right.
He then says, however, looking back and listening to the rule, I really didn't understand the rule. It was a different understanding.
And why would you? This is only your third professional fight.
Fourth professional fight. And again,
thus why many people asked why you were on the main card.
Immediately, there was booze. Immediately, there was chance of asshole during this whole thing. There's a lot of people on Twitter. He knew it was illegal. He wanted to weigh out. Women beaters are cowards. Nothing like a blatant illegal need to make people forget about your transgressions.
Right. Come on, people.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said,
if Greg Hardy wasn't the most hated man coming into this fight, he's certainly in it now.
Well, second to Stephen Smith.
Doesn't do himself any favors with the MMA community with this performance.
But still.
Not the way many wanted to see Greg Hardy lose, but still on brand. I do have one here that seems somewhat positive, and that was that what do you expect when you put that level of inexperience in that level of a high-level fight?
Right.
I also do like this one, though.
So
I also do like this one. It's almost like Greg Hardy doesn't think much before he acts.
If he was still on Fight Pass, okay.
I still think they'd talk shit.
You think so?
Oh, hell yeah, they'd still talk shit.
I don't know. When you asked me about it, I'm like, well, what do you expect for somebody who beats their wife? It's like it really has nothing to do with one or the other.
Correlate the other.
Yeah, it does. It has nothing to do with one another.
I was immediately added from a friend that was like, hey, Greg Hardy fights in the UFC? What the fuck's going on? I was like, yeah, well, he's a name, and they're trying to get names. And
he must be one of those record number watchers this weekend.
Dana White, was thinking that he could make some money off of his name.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it on ESPN. Why? Again, I have a slight problem with him being in the UFC because of his thing. A lot of fighters have had some sort of issue, whatever. I do believe in redemption. I do believe in second chances. I'm fine with that. I have a bigger problem. He was the co-main event with only having 3 fights on his record over multiple fighters who were definitely better and should have had that spotlight.
Yeah.
That's the one that bugs me the most. If he was on the prelim card or even the ESPN Plus prelim card, I wouldn't have had as big of a big deal about it.
Yeah, but him and Alan Crowder fit that.
Switch out Dennis Bermudez.
No, but I'm just saying him and Alan Crowder fit that perfect pay cycle because they sat down and they had a total dollar amount they wanted to spend on the main card.
Whatever.
It was like Fighter's Buffet.
Your main event.
Give me 2 pieces of Spam.
Your main events.
A little bit of steak.
Champion versus champion. Henry Cejudo defeats TJ Dillashaw, TKO, round 1, 32 seconds.
I'm the armchair, voice of the armchair.
We have a lot
early
of people.
Stoppage.
A lot of
early
people.
stoppage.
A lot of people say early stoppage.
I don't agree with that, but
Dana White, super upset. Obviously, TJ Dillashaw, who does not know how to lose and is a very sore loser. He admits he's a sore loser. That's his own words. You can get mad at me all you want, but he admits he's a sore loser. I would just like to point out that TJ Dillashaw can't get over 4 fights. He gets a 4-fight win streak, he loses. He gets a 4-fight win streak, he loses. He gets a 4-fight win streak, he loses. I'm sorry, it's just statistics at this point. He was on a 4-fight win streak, he lost.
Didn't TJ himself get blamed of a early stoppage?
Oh yeah.
Right?
A couple times.
Come on.
So yeah, we had this thing. Henry Cejudo tagged him in the beginning, pushes him down. He goes to get up, throwing more shots, knocks him down again, gets him up. Like I said,
suffocate him. That's the only way.
Throws more shots, knocks him down again. On the 3rd knockdown, and he's raining punches while TJ is going for a single. He is desperately going for a single in my mind, where he says it was a calculated single because he's a wrestler. They stopped the fight.
No, I know.
Big John McCarthy recently came out with his opinion, and he said, you have to take into effect the types of fighters that these guys are. They're both wrestlers. They're both going to be doing that single leg. Give them a little more time. He goes, the ref made a decision. I respect his decision. It's already done. There's nothing you can say about it. He goes, me being in there, if I was reffing, I know both these guys. He goes, if this was the 2nd round, I would immediately have stopped it. But because it was still the first and only 30 seconds in, he doesn't think that TJ could have been out, even though the weight cut could have maybe had something to do with it. I don't know. I saw the fight. I don't think it was an early stoppage.
I don't think.
I was working. I hear early stoppage and everyone freaking out. I immediately log in and watch just that section, and I watch it in slow-mo.
Right.
And when you watch it in slow-mo and you see him go down, and I'm like, oh, if they stop it here, it's definitely early. Oh, he's back up. Boom, he goes down again. Oh, if they stop it here, okay. Oh, he's back up. Boom, 3rd time he goes down and he's getting ran. I'm like, all right, I have no problem with an early stoppage, especially when you see TJ looking like and the single leg's over here.
It was not getting any better for him.
When the single leg's over here and he's not trying to drive in and he's just looking off into the distance,
Right.
to me, that's when it's like, yeah, ref made the right decision. It is what it is. I talked to a guy who trains jiu-jitsu here in Modesto, black belt, and I said, look, how many of these wrestlers that you guys got, or how many, that's their instinct immediately is to grab a single. Immediately. That's their last moments of consciousness, or let's just grab the single, I can work my way out of this. If you're a wrestler for a long time, that's instinct.
Right.
You can't tell me that was a calculated move.
No.
That you were going for the single because you were going to take Henry Cejudo down.
No,
in my opinion.
It's the go-to.
Yeah.
It's the thing
I
that's
got hit.
it's
Shit,
the
grab a
gun
leg.
on your hip.
Yeah. Grab. Henry Cejudo says he'd like to run it back with him if that's what he wants. He'd like to do it at 135. He does not want Dana White to close the 125 division. Benavidez is actually coming out for it. He wants a rematch with Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo said he's fine with that as well. They want to keep the division going. TJ obviously is saying he got robbed. He didn't lose the fight. He just all these words. He cannot let it go. And
believe you want to fight, even if you didn't.
And he wants to run it back as well. Would you watch this fight again?
Yeah.
Would you think the outcome would be similar or the same?
With these types
Maybe
of fighters,
not 30 seconds, but
yeah. If it's at 120, if it's back at 125, I think it's the same outcome. I don't think the weight cut's good to him. But I think if Cejudo moves up to 135 and Dillashaw's where he likes to fight, I think it's a different fight.
Okay, I can see that for sure. I'd be.
But I still think even at 135, Cejudo's wrestling's better. Nick. I'm just saying.
Sound off in the comments. Tell me if you guys would watch this fight and if you would like to see this fight again. Did you think it was an early stoppage? And do you think they need to do an immediate rematch? And how do you see that rematch going?
Yeah, put all that in the comments.
All in the comments. We need some comments going on in here. Moving on from there, we do have a fight this weekend. Now, we were supposed to have UFC 233. I can't even give you a poster for that because it's fucking canceled.
You post to note it.
Okay? It's canceled. And it's canceled because, rumors are they didn't want to compete with this big event. There's also rumors that because they had to move a John Jones event, they had to move some other stuff. There's also rumors that they wanted to stack the ESPN Plus card that we just talked about. We don't know.
And we'll never know.
We'll never know. But they did move all those fights to other cards, so eventually you will see those fights if you haven't seen them already. But Bellator...
And again, maybe that's why we've seen Hardy on the main card.
Yeah. Bellator is having their Grand Prix final. Your main event is a big fight. I'm excited for this. They released the belts today. They look hands down better than the new fucking Power Rangers coin of a belt that UFC has. Anyway,
but it's a low bar. It's a low bar, bud.
It is a low bar. Let's start off with you can see everything on Bellator.com or Bellator app for like a lot of prelim fights. But moving on from there, the main card, which will be
on DAZN,
and on Paramount Network.
Sweet.
So finally, let's talk about we got Brandon McMahon going up against Adel Alta Mimi, Juan Archuleta going up against Ricky Banderas, Jake Hager, that's Jack Swagger to you WWE fans, going up against J.W. Kaiser, Aaron Pico going against Henry Corrales, and your main event for the Bellator Heavyweight Championship and the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix Championship. You get two belts.
Okay.
Fedor Emelianenko against Ryan Bader.
If I tell you that I'm actually more excited about the Hager and the Pico fight, are you mad?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think you should be, but I'm not mad.
I'm really not expecting much out of Fedor anymore.
No?
No.
He's saying he wants to retire. Does he take two belts and retire?
I don't know. I think he takes a loss and retires.
Yeah, I think Bader's going to win this fight as well. He's been my dark horse from the beginning. I would also like to say Eric has been picking him from the very beginning from My MMA News. I think Nick even talked about it and mentioned it before.
Zanella? I think Zanella.
We have to run back some.
Yeah, he was one of the Baiters.
Run back and see.
You guys are all masturbators.
Who we all thought, hey, masturbator, Darth Vader, whatever you want to call him. However, I do think he is getting the win tomorrow. And that's it for this week.
Wow.
That's all the fights that we got going.
Well,
on.
we did have.
However,
no. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't have no video. I don't have any video.
I will say this: you and Nick went to a local event in Stockton.
Local event in Stockton. Commentated.
Beat down 209.
Commentated with Don.
4-5. What is this?
This was Beatdown 7.
Oh, there are 7 events now.
And they're going to have Beatdown 8 on my birthday, March 23rd.
Are they?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a little more organized. I heard the fights were amazing. Heard because I can't see anything.
Yeah, we don't have any video.
I heard you guys got some good interviews.
No, we actually ended up having to do commentary.
Oh, you guys got put on a production team.
Yeah, we were put on a production team.
Okay.
And
did we get anything for our services?
Everybody said thank you very much.
A smile?
I got a really good plate of meatball and some fettuccine, I believe.
All right.
But we do have
Apparently
some
we're in
stuff.
the fight business now, where we also produce fights.
Yeah.
So if you would like to reach out to us, we will talk to you about our rates. I just hope that we can get some better rates than the last time.
Yeah.
Beatdown 209 was up at Stockton. You would have to check out online for some details.
Yeah, like I said, as soon as we get some video, we'll give you the rundown on all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but Nick was pretty solid on if we don't have anything to show, then we're not going to talk about it.
Nothing to talk about.
That's where we go. And Nick is our 209 guy. So
what you can do though is you head over to shirtsicle.com, shirtsicle/SDMMA. Pick yourself up a Fight Night and Chill shirt. As
are we going to make another one?
Yeah,
we got something else?
Probably do something good. Huh?
Okay.
I'll play around with some stuff. We got the Pride Style shirt and the original shirt, both up on the website. Also, make sure you check out Dependable Solutions, dependable-solutions.net, to make sure you save up to 70% on your credit card.
Just look at the link on our screen.
Processing.
Right.
It's somewhere right in this area.
It's going to come up. There it is. Bam.
Right there.
Right there.
So if you take credit cards or looking to take credit cards in the near future, make sure you talk to these guys because they will make sure to save you up to 70% of what you already take. Other than that, we are always coming from the SinCal studios here at SinCal Industries, where you can get all your tattoos, piercings, stickers, T-shirts.
Come and get some holes in you. Either get 1,000 holes with ink in it, or just a couple holes with jewelry.
All kinds of stuff here in Modesto, California. And that is it this week. We will see you next week. Have a good night. See you at the fight.